Hi, my name is Andrew Kahrl. I am an assistant professor in history, African American studies here at the Carter G. Woodson Institute. My research focuses on the history of real estate and housing in America, looking at the history of African American land ownership, property owners, and the politics of housing in 20th century American cities. Also with a focus on environmental history and looking at the sort of relationship between people and land. Well, I would say one of the most influential moments in my life was when I was an undergrad. When I was a sophomore in college, I had a chance to go and spend a week doing field research in the Mississippi Delta, followed by a week in Chicago studying the Great Migration of African Americans from the rural South to the urban North. And at that time I was able to go to churches in towns like Mountain Bayou, a historically African American town in Mississippi, interviewing people who had been a part of the Great Migration, really sort of doing hands-on research and actually sort of becoming intimately familiar with the craft of history. And so that in turn sort of really opened my eyes to sort of what historical research is, the potential of African American studies to reach beyond just simply the academy, to actually reach into people's lives and actually capture stories and experiences that you wouldn't otherwise gain just merely through the classroom. And so I've sort of taken that approach as well to my own teaching here. One of the things that I've sort of tried to emphasize is in my courses is trying to give students an opportunity to actually sort of take the readings that we're doing in class, or taking the materials and applying it to the present moment. So for instance, in my class I teach a course on race and real estate here, and this past semester we read this very influential book that looks at the problem of evictions and homelessness in American cities. And at the end of the reading, I asked students, okay, well, what types of solutions would you propose to this very pressing problem, a crisis that are really facing many Americans? What ideas would you sort of propose, and how would you sort of pitch them, and how would they work? I mean, having spent a whole semester studying the problem of inequitable access to housing, the problem of unaffordable housing for many low-income Americans, what types of solutions would you propose? So I think that is really where a program like ours can really step in and sort of offer students opportunities to really sort of apply what they've studied on with regards to race and justice in ways that can actually influence people's lives directly, and in turn really discover themselves and what they want to do after college. As an historian here in the Woodson Institute, I very much emphasize the fact that African American history is American history. And in fact, you can't understand American history without understanding the lives and experiences of people of color in America. This is what I teach in classes when I teach just a U.S. survey course, and it's what I also put front and center in any course having to do with African American history or studies, is that we're not just simply looking at the lives of a people, but we're more importantly really looking at the sort of the shaping of our country. We're looking at issues that affect all of us, and by doing that, you begin to sort of, all the things that we are familiar to us begin to look somewhat unfamiliar. It begins to sort of destabilize some of the sort of neat categories and tidy narratives that we often tell ourselves as a country. And that's a good thing, because I think that can really, we need to have those sort of honest discussions about our past if we're ever going to hope to start building a better future.